Hello everyone, this is Candii and I'm here for a slightly different video than normal, which is to say that I don't normally make videos. I've been very out of the loop, but I wanted to come back and do a quick review slash chat about my experience being a content creator. And I would love to have this be a prolific video that gives you a lot of advice, but I can just sort of speak about my experience and where I've ended up after a year of just making content. So I'm going to start off with some numbers. Rounded up, 4,700 subs on YouTube, 53 videos. This will be the 54th video. Almost 20,000 followers on Twitch. We're just shy of that right now. 1,300 hours streamed on Twitch. Over 19 model designs and iterations, starting from my original design. And then 9,500 Twitter followers. And TikTok and Instagram, but they're not, I don't really count them. So I guess I for some reason I felt like saying the numbers out loud might make them feel more real or make more sense, but it's difficult to quantify success and what I've experienced because I don't know how to explain it and I don't know how to break it down, and that's something that I really want to learn and understand and have a retrospective on. And so that's kind of why I want to make this video and just talk about where I'm at right now. And again, my year on Twitch and YouTube and just being online as a VTuber. I'm not sure if I talked about this or I have talked about this on the channel. I've talked about it a lot on my Twitch channel about my reasons for becoming a VTuber. And I may have touched on it a little bit, but just for context, I used to try, I tried IRL streaming. I tried other formats of streaming. And I felt like I could never really be myself. And I felt like I just was a little bit shy or apprehensive to try new things or be funny or make dumb faces. And then when I became a VTuber, I just really stopped caring. And then over the past year of making content, I've really gained a perspective that I don't think that even before I became a VTuber, I don't even really think I knew who I was, which is a weird thing to realize. I have a lot of, I don't know if it's identity issues or what, but I never felt, I didn't know what I wanted or what I wanted to do. And I still sometimes stumble on that. I don't know what I want to do in a big scale. I love telling stories and I love sharing information that I happen to find. I like educating, and I like having conversations about psychology or the reasons that people stream or what people, I don't know, find when they are streaming, struggles or experiences or things they overcome. But it's all very high concept, high ideal as a conversation, so it's really difficult to break down what I do and why I do it. And I get asked a lot why I started streaming, and I'm not sure. Because I started in 2015 and I had on and off experiences and success, and I tried other projects and I tried other things, and I occasionally tried to stream, and it just never really seemed to take. But I kind of went Fight Club about it last year, and I said, well, I'm just going to throw myself, caution to the wind, just throw myself fully into this. I had a part-time job, and it was the start of quarantine, and I started this channel with a totally different looking avatar, and it just, I think just giving myself the license to just fail and fail forward, I just went with it, and I never let myself stop. I just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, kept turning up, and I don't know, it's hard to explain because I can't tell you why people gravitate towards me or what you can do to make people gravitate towards you. But I find a common thread with a lot of creators that find success is that they identify what makes them happy and what they enjoy doing and what they can do to be their most authentic self. And people really respond to that, genuineness and authenticity. I'm not sure what the distinction is between VTubers and IRL streamers in terms of the Twitch team, how they see VTubers versus IRL. That's something that I think in the coming, I have a lot of goals with being a VTuber. I really want to help broaden the exposure of them, as in the Western markets at least, trying to show that they're viable sponsorship options and they're valid creators. And just because we can't do IRL events, just because we can't attend events the way that you would do if you were a meet and greet YouTuber type, there's still so much value and so much that we bring to the table. I've tried to use my platform. I have Sugar Crush, my stream team. And I've tried to use that to bring attention to other VTubers, though I understand I'm not the kind of team leader that kind of micromanages and goes into everyone's streams and talks to every single member or anything like that. I just kind of set up the framework for people to be able to click into a list and find just VTubers. There's a couple of IRL people, because I don't really want to draw too harsh a distinction, because people from my community wanted to join. But I just, making things easier for future generations is definitely something that I would like to be able to do. If people are able to just debut as a VTuber and be taken seriously for like making the content they want to make, that would be like an ideal kind of legacy on the community. Just people being able to be themselves without having to fight for that. Whether they're queer or if they're just like a new creator, they're shy, like whatever, or they're, you know, different kind of design. Like not everyone has the same sort of style or aesthetic. Like being able to have like weirder or wackier or like more out there designs. Like there's so much that I hope to see with the community and so much that I want to see grow. And that's why I come back to the question of like, why do I do this? And I don't have like an answer. I wake up every day and I'm just excited to like do stuff and make content. And I can say for a fact that I do overthink it a lot. And I do wonder, like, is this going to be good enough? Like, should I even bother? Why am I even doing this? Like about videos, about streams. But I usually just try to overcome that and then turn up anyway and keep doing it. And that's something that I have learned by being in this format, is just that a lot of the time, the thing you have to contend with most is your self-destructive, self-protective instincts. Because I used to definitely undermine myself and just not let myself fail, because failure felt like dying. Like I really just, I was so afraid of failure, because I was like, having people know that I'm not as good as they, you know, like I just was afraid of failing people or having them think that I failed. But yeah, I just had to like shift my relationship with like what is failure and like what does it do for you, and when is it bad? Like there's certain things you can't fail, like paying bills, or like like listen, I missed a dentist appointment. That was my bad. Look, that was a mistake. That was a failure. All I learned was that I'm bad at waking up, but I've always known that. But instead of just like don't let the failure be like something you carry on your shoulders like a weight. Take it as like a note in a book and something to reference back to later. It doesn't have to be a physical thing that like weighs you down, stops you from trying again. It just has to serve as like a lesson. And ideally it doesn't happen again, but even if it does, like just keep trying and keep going forward. And I think of any trait that I have, I'm just a stubborn piece of I'm just stubborn. Because oh my god, I just won't stop trying and I won't stop throwing myself out there. And like I don't know, I spent like, you know, 10 hours a day some days, 12 hours, 14 hours. Like some streams I'd stream 11 hours and then I'd work at like for 8 hours after and other stuff. So I don't know, no one can tell me no. And because I got told no so much in my life, and so I think being a VTuber in this format as well has just like given me so much confidence. And that's you know, a further point is being a VTuber and turning up and making content and having a positive response to my work eventually has really paid off, like on in terms of my confidence. But I still had to turn up, like I still had to take the risk and start making content. And I acknowledge that I got very lucky early on, because I managed to hit like 100 average in like a month basically, and then I was a partner after 2 months of streaming. But that's after like a couple of years of me trying and failing on another account. And having people tell me that I didn't have what it takes, and I wasn't funny, and I couldn't be a community leader, and I didn't really have like the follow through, and I wasn't, you know, I got told a lot about what I was like. I've been told a lot by people who I am and what I bring to the table. And something in me just broke last year, and I just said, you know what? I really don't care what people think I am. I care what I think I am. And that's been like a through thread for my channel. If I want to make changes to my designs, if I want to update things, if I've got a plan, I just do it. And chat just kind of has to deal with it. But I'd rather it be that way. I'd rather just like I need to do what is right, because every time I listen to my gut and I follow my instincts, for the most part, I always end up in a better place. But making myself smaller and withdrawing and working less and being shyer and talking to less people, that never helped me. That was never something for me. That was other people trying to define who I was for me. And I can say, even at this point, even with like almost 5K on YouTube and 20K on Twitch. Like I don't think that I'm any clearer on who I am exactly as a person, but I know that it doesn't really matter, like, because it's a journey and it's an ongoing thing, and it's okay to just like keep trying and keep turning up. Because, and I think that's why I like streaming so much, because you can just like every day is like a new stream, like every video is like every you know, it's just because you had a quiet day yesterday doesn't mean it's going to be like a quiet day again. Like it's like a roulette thing. It's gambling in a sense, but there's a lot of ways you can stack the odds in your favor by sharing content on different platforms like YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, like, you know, like sharing content around, cross promotion, participating in the community in a generous and genuine manner. Don't just network for the sake of networking. Just be very like deliberate and supportive, and make sure that you're not approaching people for what they can give you, but for what you have to offer. And just know that, and I said this recently on stream, but just know that by default you have value. Like, you don't have to have like the highest view count. You don't have to have like, I can tell you right now, like, I don't feel any more secure in streaming, even though I've had a lot of success recently, because I don't know, it's not about like, the numbers are never going to make you feel better. The numbers are just a metric. They're just a thing that you have. It's like your height, or like, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's just like a number that it's like, yeah, okay, that's what's going on, but like, numbers don't have to define you as much as some people let them define them. And again, like, the more followers that I get, the less like real that it seems. I like getting from 1K to 5K, I was like, holy heck, like that feels good. And then getting 5K to 10K, I was like, 10K felt really awesome. But now I'm like almost at 20K, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, your relationship to growth changes, not because you're desensitized. Like, I mean, I guess you could be desensitized, but it just doesn't like, I think with time you really begin to realize that it's not about the numbers. It's really about the impact you leave on the community, and it's about the people that you influence. It's the people you inspire. It's the relationships that you form. It's the people that you help introduce to one another. It's the community that you build. There's so much more that you just can't see with numbers. Yeah, but this isn't really so much an advice video. This isn't so much like a streamer tips video. This is really just me having a reflection on my year of making content. And I wish that I had something I could tell you that is like a surefire, guaranteed way to like grow your stats and hit partner and you know, like whatever. Like, I wish there was some simple answer to that, but it's really just that you have to stream. You have to turn up. Not like, you have to do 12 hours a day, but you just have to turn up. And for some people, they haven't even tried that. They haven't even started streaming. They're too afraid to. So I guess take this as your like license to fail, and your license to just try it out and see if you like it. Don't feel so afraid of failure. Be afraid of not trying. That's really something that you have to learn as well. It's better just to try and fail than fail to try. That kind of stuff. And it's platitudes, and it sounds fake, but it's true. And that's one thing as well, is all advice, when it gets to a certain point, sounds so simple that it's obvious, or like, you know, oh, like I've heard that before. But hearing the advice and living the advice is two very different things. You can acknowledge that you've heard something before, but actually actioning it and putting it into your day-to-day life is a totally different experience. Like, when I tell people, like, don't look at the numbers, and like, don't look at your average view count, and just put in your all and play games that help you make the best content, and collab with people that help you make the best content. Don't collab with people because of numbers, because just collab with people because you make good content together. Some of my best friends, I've watched them grow from like 100 followers on Twitch to like 3, 4, 5, 10K. Like, there's no like numbers. Like I said, numbers just really don't define you. And trust me when I say that if you're a small content creator and you come out of the gate with like confidence and content, and you just try and you put yourself out there, people will take notice. Coming out of this isn't like about having a big debut. This is just about having confidence and knowing you belong on the platform, and knowing that you have something to offer. Having that as your foundation of how you approach encounters with people, not reverence, not oh my gosh, I'm your biggest fan, blah blah blah. Like, you can obviously admire people, and you can tell them you admire them, but just don't put yourself on a lower pedestal to build other people up, because that's just, you don't need to do that. Like, you're doing great. Like, you're doing fine. It's okay. Just keep trying and keep turning up, and approach everything from like a generosity mindset, and just do your best to like help people because you want to help them, not because you want them to help you. Yeah, so I guess that's just a lot of like, and again, it's so difficult because this isn't like, oh, get these sick overlays and get this cool alert and throw like, get this like wacky face tracking. Like, that's what I think people expect me to say when I offer advice, but that's all just like set dressing. Streaming especially, I don't know so much about YouTube, but streaming especially, you spend like 4, 5, 6, up to 8 hours with some content creators. You spend so much time with people, and so you really want to make sure that you're someone that people want to spend time with. And that's not like to say that you aren't worth it or that you need to change to be that, but just you need to treat yourself like someone that people want to be around. You need to treat yourself kindly, and you need to let yourself try and let yourself fail and let yourself turn up. Like, just don't undermine yourself and don't undersell yourself and don't downplay yourself. Just, it's okay to be like, it's okay to feel confident. It's okay to make content and be confident. Yeah. But again, like, self-growth and self-development is so much more sustainable to focus on than just, oh, my flashy new trailer. Oh, my new model. Like, those things are important, but they come with time. Again, I got partnered. I got partnered with a model that I don't think was especially crash hot, which is not to say that it was bad. I made it myself. Yeah, I don't know how to quantify it, but just know that, like, having the best assets is just one aspect of content creation. So don't feel like just because your model isn't 100%. Obviously, having a nice model does help because you get, people will see it and they'll want to come check you out. But you have to have the follow through. You have to have the stuff behind that makes people want to keep coming. Phrasing. Anyway, so this is just my little advice video, kind of a time capsule. I'm curious to see where I'll be in a year from now. And there's so many things that I'd love to speak about. Like, I have a new model on the way. I have a job opportunity that I'm talking with some people on. Actually, I have a few things coming up potentially, but I can't speak about any of it in more detail. But just, yeah, I didn't know where I'd be in a year, but I'm glad that I started. That's one thing, I guess, is just don't be afraid to start, because you never know where you might end up. Okay, well, thank you all for watching. Again, this is a little bit of a weird video because it's not really directly advice. It's just really just my introspection on what my experience has been like. I do intend to do a dedicated Q&A video, and I have been doing dedicated Q&A videos on my Twitch channel, where I sit and I just take questions from chat, and I like about VTubing primarily, but sometimes about like just personal growth stuff. I can't help with like mental health stuff like that. I straight up can't help with. I did go to a therapist that did help me out a lot, put me on the right track, so I can't help with that stuff. But just, yeah, feel free to check me out on Twitch. And I am going to be looking at getting a YouTube editor and stuff like that. So, I keep saying that eventually it'll happen. But yeah, all right, cool. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching, and thank you for staying to this point, and thank you so much for the past year. It's been wild, and it just occurred to me that I also have to do yes. Oh my, I have to do a stream anniversary. Okay, I have to go plan that. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.